It's been more than 2 years since the release of the iPhone 12, and during this time this device has been very popular and it is still being sold by Apple. The official price of the iPhone 12 is $600, but if you look on other websites maybe you can find it under $500. In this video I wanted to give my thoughts about this device and tell you if the iPhone 12 is still worth buying and using in late 2022. When it comes to the build quality, the iPhone 12 still feels very premium. It has flat sides and it looks and feels amazing. The back has a glossy finish, and if you get a darker color it will attract fingerprints, but the aluminum frames stay clean all the time. The iPhone 12 is a very light and thin device. When I grab it after using other iPhones, it feels so light and refreshing. It is IP68 water and dust resistant, so it is safe to use it if you want to take pictures while swimming. The iPhone 12 has a 6.1-inch OLED display that Apple calls it Retina XDR. It is a sharp display with 460 pixels per inch, and it gets bright up to 625 nits in auto mode and up to 1200 nits for HDR content. The display of the iPhone 12 is great. It has nice colors and for the most part it gets bright enough. Sometimes I had trouble on viewing content on direct sunlight, but in other cases it was just fine. It has the old notch which is very wide and it cuts so much content when using it in landscape. The refresh rate on this phone is only 60 Hz, and this might be a deal breaker for many people. To be honest, a 60 Hz display on an iPhone is smoother than a 60 Hz display on an Android device, so personally I don't really care that this phone doesn't have a promotion display. The iPhone 12 runs the latest version of iOS 16, and it just flies through the software. iPhones are known to be very fast and smooth, and the iPhone 12 is no different. iOS 16 gave this device a big refresh, since now you can customize the lock screen and much more. It is also very future-proof, since it will support many years of updates. The chip that powers this device is the A14 Bionic, which is still more powerful than most of the competition. The iPhone 12 can easily handle everyday tasks and even heavy games are no problem either. The only thing that kind of annoys me is the RAM, since it has only 4GB. The base storage is also very limited since it starts at 64GB. You have other options with more storage, but the base is just too low. The iPhone 12 has two cameras on the back, a main 12-megapixel lens and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide. Pictures taken during daylight are sharp with slightly vibrant colors. For many years iPhones have been taking amazing pictures during daylight, and the iPhone 12 is the same. It does support night mode with all the cameras, so even at low light pictures come bright and detailed. The ultra-wide camera is a little bit weaker during the night, but I would call it acceptable. The front camera does also take great pictures during the day, but when taking pictures with the sky in the background I noticed that in many shots it blows it entirely. Video on the other hand is just amazing. It can record up to 4K at 60 frames per second on the front and back, and videos are great. Better than the iPhone 12 I would say are only the newer iPhones and maybe some of the Android flagships of 2022. Another area where the iPhone 12 delivers is with audio. This phone has stereo speakers and the sound they deliver is loud and clear. Pro Max iPhones are slightly louder, but the 12 is really good too. The only flaw with the iPhone 12 in my opinion is the battery. It doesn't have terrible battery life, but I wouldn't call it good either. It will last you for the most part of the day, but be sure you have to charge it every evening. This wasn't my primary device and I only used it on and off. That's why it still has 100% battery health. Even with this percentage, when I use it the battery isn't that good. If you like to have a great battery, a much safer choice would be the iPhone 13, which lasts easily more than a day. The iPhone 12 does also support Magsafe, but truly speaking I never use it since it is very slow. Face ID has always been reliable on iPhones, and it works every time, so there isn't much to talk about it, besides the fact that with iOS 16 it works even on landscape. So what are my final thoughts about the iPhone 12, and is it still good in late 2022? Well, if you can get past the weak battery life, I would say the iPhone 12 is still worth it. It has a great build quality, a good display, a fast processor, and very reliable cameras. To me, the battery life has been the only weak side, but other than that, for $500 I would say get it. For $600 on the other hand, I don't think it is a good deal. The reason is the iPhone 13, since it has a better battery life, a more powerful chipset, double the base storage, and it costs just $100 more. If you are an owner of the iPhone 12, let me know your experience in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, a thumbs up would be appreciated.